Doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Katie?
Good.
Good.
Good to see you doing well and back in the office.
Thank you.
What all new is going on in your life?
Well, have you heard about all the stuff down at OU with the fraternity down there?
I have.
Is that not crazy?
It is. I can't believe that people of this generation would even consider saying those things.
I know. But at the same time, I think, well, we know alcohol was involved.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when you're 19, 20, 21, and you drink as much as people do nowadays, they really can't control what comes out of their mouth, I think, sometimes. Plus, I think SAE, I don't know a lot about it, but I think they were a fraternity that was founded like in Alabama or Georgia or somewhere deep south.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if they have songs like that, but I don't think it's the same connotation as it used to be.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah. And I saw that their house mom is getting tons of attention. What do you?
Yeah.
How would you react as a house mom?
Well, if I think I would say anything.
Yeah.
I think I would. I don't know. I would really hate it, but I really don't think I would talk to any reporters.
Yeah.
Even in defense, because sometimes when you speak out, even in a defensive mode, it makes you look guilty.
Right.
And so I think I would just lie low
mm-hmm.
for a while. But it makes me incredibly sad that in 2015 we're still worrying about stuff like that. But at the same time, some of the talk that has come back from that is just the same. The backlash. I mean, people getting so mad and slicing tires and keying cars.
Mm-hmm.
That's the very same thing.
Yeah.
The very same thing that those boys did on the bus.
Right.
Just backwards.
Exactly. And I've been seeing that they're comparing this act to sexual assault, and people don't get expelled from performing that.
Right.
Do you think that? Do you agree with that, or do you?
I don't know. It's really hard to compare it to anything,
mm-hmm.
isn't it? I mean, I don't know. It is what it is.
Right.
It's not okay, and it shouldn't be condoned.
No.
But at the same time, I think things just moved really quick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost, they didn't even know the boys that had done it yet before they started shutting things down and expelling. And sometimes it just seems like if you just take a step back, not that I don't agree with,
mm-hmm.
them closing the house or anything like that, but sometimes if you just take a step back, things start to work themselves out in a natural process.
Right.
Without an authoritarian having to come in and say,
mm-hmm.
it's over,
Right.
But, I don't know.
Yeah. So what do you think they should have done?
I don't know. I'm just
mm-hmm.
thankful I'm not in that. I don't have to make those kind of calls. I don't know. I mean, there had to be something. Something had to be done. You can't overlook something like that. But when you think of the ramification for those two boys, at least,
mm-hmm.
It's just sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad all the way across the board.
It is, because their future is ruined.
Yeah.
They'll always have that stereotype with them.
Right.
And even those members of the fraternity house that weren't even at the date party.
Right.
Or who, just think of how that affects them and their reaction, their parents.
Right. And not only at OU, but it affects the SAEs everywhere, nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
It affects the whole community of SAE. And so you just feel bad, but at the same time, they should have not been teaching those songs. And I have no doubt that
right.
those boys were taught that song
exactly.
at SAE.
Mm-hmm.
But, so maybe that's what needed to be looked at.
Right.
More is the reason they even knew those songs.
Right.
They shouldn't even be singing
yeah.
those songs.
They didn't. Well, I'm sure they chose to learn the songs, but they wouldn't have known the songs if someone would have taught them.
And like I said, even though they were founded in the Deep South, things have sure come a long ways than, I mean, just even in the last 50 years.
Right.
And I'm sure SAE's been around a lot longer than that. And so our cultural changes in the last 50 years have been great, and we need to make sure that we're changing along with our culture.
Right.
Because things like this happen when we don't.
Exactly. Well, I just think I hope that this is a life lesson for all involved, and that hopefully those that are personally involved in it aren't affected nearly as it's being played that they're being affected.
Right. So. Right. And I do hope everybody learns from it, and I hope nothing happens over spring break. Because I hate that, because I think a lot of places where Greek life goes, they just see Oklahoma. They don't necessarily see OU or OSU. They just see Oklahoma, and it makes me a little afraid.
Yes.
For Greek life in all the different places that they'll go next week.
Yes. Anywhere. So, well, thank you for coming in. That's all the time we have today. But I look forward to talking to you again.
Okay. Love you.